with me, Shayz on the mic, on Lies to Lyrics or Lyrics to Lies.
Dang, lyrics and lies. Lyrics and lies.
Lyrics and Lies.
Lyrics and lies. Yes. Money Green here. And we are about to get this thing started. Got a little... Well, anyway, you go ahead and explain it to him. I'm a little speechless. I have to get myself together.
So we're going to start off talking about Miss Whitney Houston.
The Whitney Houston documentary. Okay. I'm not so speechless now. I'm not speechless.
Okay, so I looked at the Whitney Houston documentary a couple of weeks ago.
Right. Came out this summer 2018.
Yeah, towards the end. It didn't get a whole lot of buzz when it came out. It was really low-key.
Documentary, limited theaters.
Yeah, so it was pretty low-key. But I figured I got around to it so I can check it out and see what's going on. Some of the stuff we already heard about it.
Yes, but it actually confirmed some things that we heard. Because a lot of things we hear actually come across as rumors. You know, they deny it. The publicist said, no, that didn't happen. That's not true. That documentary, oh my goodness, it sealed the deal on a lot of stuff. It confirmed a lot of stuff. It actually blew me away. Well, we'll get to the blown away stuff. But let's jump right into the molestation. Because that was heartbreaking.
That got me.
Yes.
And to find out who it was.
Right.
Really got me.
Don't say who it was.
We're not going to put names out there, but when I found out who it was, that blew me away.
Right. What we'll do is we'll say spoiler alert, and we'll give people a nice amount of time to cut it off. In the future, just to let you know, that's a nice little thing we can do. Spoiler alert, then we give them a couple of minutes, well, not minutes, but seconds, and then we release a spoiler, and then we can let them come back in. But anyway, we're not going to release it this time, because we love y'all so much. Nevertheless, that played a pivotal role because even before they dolled her up and made her into a princess, Clive Davis, before they gave her that image of a sweet, innocent girl, she was damaged. She was very damaged psychologically. And that hurts. It hurts when I hear about kids being molested because they had to grow up with that. They turn to teenagers and adults, but they haven't dealt with those issues. Not saying there's a quote-unquote cure, but at least confronted those issues. Because not only did she get molested, but she held a secret from her mother. So those are two major things.
And it also happened to her brothers. And
right,
they all kept it.
But they're not singing, so we ain't talking
right,
about
but they all kept it
right.
a secret.
Yeah.
Now, you have to put that in because it was in the movie that all of them got molested. And also that the brothers were also in the band in some kind of way. Her oldest brother was a backup singer one year that we found out later.
Right.
During her career. So I'm just putting that out there. This is not about them, it's about Whitney. But I did want to give some information that some people might not have known.
She employed her brothers. She kept it real and made sure they got paid whether they were working or not. Mm-hmm. And also worked her father into the situation. But I wonder if it was peer pressure from her brothers or the pain or combination that led to her teenage drug usage.
I think it was a combination.
At the age of 16, her brothers said that they gave her cocaine at 16. So she was smoking weed and taking what they call it, totes or tooting coke at 16. That's way before she met Bobby. And it's interesting because a lot of people try to put that on Bobby, or they try to put, after Bobby's documentary, they try to put his drug usage on her. But I think it's reasonable, and it's probably what clearly happened here, that you can be on drugs or cocaine, it's cocaine in particular.
Because crack is whack.
Right. But you can be on cocaine and not tell the person that you're dating. And that person, the person that you're dating, could have also been on cocaine or experimented with it before. and the two of you not know that about each other. Because normally either you share it, they come across it, or you hide it. And if you're not a full-blown addict, it's easy to hide. So I believe, and I know I shouldn't jump into other areas, but I believe it that she was doing it before him, like her brother said. And also Shaka Khan in an interview maybe 2 or 3 years ago, she said that she knows Whitney was doing drugs before Bobby because Whitney was a backup singer. Mm-hmm. When Clive first brought her on, she was doing backup vocals for other singers, and she was working with Shaka Khan, and she said they were snorting back then.
And also, her brother even mentioned that she was swimming around Bobby. Bobby couldn't keep up.
No, but that's later.
Yeah, that's later. I'm just saying, my point that lets you know that she's been doing it for a minute too.
No,
I think so.
No, but yeah, she was. But the swimming part could just be you have a way to do it. Your body doesn't react to it like the other person. That could come from. I've never.
But the brother also.
I never tried cocaine. Hold on, but that could come from just you being better at it. Doesn't necessarily mean you were doing it longer.
But the way that the brother implied that they had been doing it, they have been doing it so much that she had already been immune to certain things of it.
Now she wasn't immune. She just partied harder than he did.
Maybe we don't really know.
We know that. We know that part.
We just saying, you're saying that, but I was saying from the documentary where he said, she was saying that she could handle it more than Bobby was.
Bobby couldn't hang with her, basically.
And
that's just like drinking. You know, some people can drink other people under the table. And some people are lightweights. Like, I'm a lightweight. So, yeah, I can drink and I can have a shot with you. But it's going to affect me differently. I'm just a lightweight in that regard. So, but Whitney was doing her thing as early as 16. She actually got weed and coke for her birthday from her brothers. Mm-hmm. So she actually took it. So that's why I was saying, I wonder if that's peer pressure or just her saying I'm in pain, or she could have just been young and that's what people are doing. So that's like the peer pressure. But nevertheless, that leads us up to Clive Davis, her image of which you spoke about, and how they had her looking sweet and innocent and acting sweet and innocent. And she was somewhat polished. She just came from a rough area, but she had some class about her.
Yeah.
Her mother
drilled that in her.
Yeah, Whitney Houston wasn't playing, so she made her keep it classy. You can see in her pictures as a child, she was always dressed nicely and her hair was looking good. So she get props. Now, she wasn't a hood rat. She wasn't no thug.
No.
Right.
But I have to say one thing about after they found out that Whitney was doing drugs and how it started coming out and spiraling out of control. I have to say that even though Bobby was blamed for a lot of stuff, he took it. He didn't say, well, no, she was doing it before. He didn't do that. He allowed them to put that negativity on him. He could have been said something about it, but he didn't.
Now, why was that? Is that because he was guilty too?
It could have been, or it could have been because he loved Whitney so much and he wanted to protect her.
Protect her a little bit. I can see that, and I think that's what it was. He was protecting her image. But he was rough on her. And I don't know how many physical altercations they had, but he clearly was verbally abusive. And that's understandable because of cocaine. Cocaine's one of them rough drugs. For real. And you're liable to say anything out your mouth.
And she said some stuff out of her mouth too?
She did, but that was a sad documentary. But Whitney Houston documentary is just sad.
It's really sad.
Right.
I'm still unclear about one thing. I mean, it still kind of danced around one person.
No, it didn't.
It still kind of danced around it. Everybody had their opinion, but it still danced around it. I mean, one of the brothers did come out. The oldest brother did come out and say, but the rest of the people still danced around her.
No,
who she
no.
was in.
No.
In Whitney's life.
No. Who? Dance around who? What topic? Break it down.
Are we saying names now?
Say the name.
Robin.
Destiny's Child up in here. Say her name. Robin. Whitney Houston's feminine, sexual, or her lesbian lover. That was spelled out. I don't know how you thought they would dance around it.
I'm saying in the documentary they still danced around. The only person who really came out and said something is that the brother's name, the oldest brother.
It was more than one person.
Michael and one of the wives of the brothers said something.
Yeah, she definitely said it.
She said something.
They said that Robin and Whitney were lovers. They had a thing going on for decades? At least 2 decades. And Robin was clearly, I mean, she looked a little feminine in the beginning.
Then she started looking. But
she started getting real manly.
Yeah, she did. She did.
She started getting manly, and she took over her affairs. And I think that's when they said the father was muscled out, or he was put to the side.
He was something else.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But I'm just saying.
But Whitney clearly had a relationship with Robin. Bobby danced around it a little bit.
Mm-hmm, he did.
But I thought they hit it straight ahead. Like the lady with the lady with the tooth missing. I believe she said it directly. Like that was her girl, and she did her thing with the men, but on the side it was always Robin. That was who she fell back on a little bit because she was confused sexually due to being molested by a woman.
Correct.
That's what they ended up saying at the end. Mm-hmm. So it gave potential reason for her messing with Robin. Because she was confused. Being that an older woman, she had those mixed feelings. And then you had Randall Cunningham and Whitney Houston dating. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that too.
She and Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Now they didn't touch on Michael Jackson. One of the bodyguards said that. Like they touched on them being friends and being real close, but one of Michael's bodyguards said that they used to have some late night rendezvous, Whitney and Michael, and I think in Bobby's book, I think he said Tupac and Whitney did that thing.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I didn't get that memo.
And I forgot who that was on tour. That the keyboardist said Whitney was a sex fiend. You remember that part when she was saying,
on the documentary.
All Whitney wanted to talk about was sex. She did this and she did that, and she had this guy and she was doing this. I would love to hear those conversations, especially from that Whitney. I would love to hear that.
That the How Will I Know?
That's the same. Yeah. Well, yeah. And a little after. I'm Your Baby Tonight, Whitney. And what was the one in the middle? When she did Living for the Love of You Over.
I can't think of it right now.
All right.
We'll get back to it.
Yes.
It'll come back to us later.
I think that's what it had, where the Broken Hearts go on that one. But yeah, Whitney. So we don't have to talk about the father much. He was a trip.
He really was. He was something else.
He was a trip. He opens up a can of worms because he and the accountant teamed up and started stealing money. This is down the line. You want to jump? You want to go back?
No, I think you're right on point.
So her father helped her in her career in the early stage, and she actually looks more like her father. I saw that resemblance when she was a teenager and he was younger.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, that's where she got it from. But nevertheless, he was kind of cool in the beginning, but he was, I guess, power struck when they mentioned that he could call anybody in Hollywood due to being Whitney's manager. So he was living it up, but evidently he dropped the ball somewhere, or Robin just didn't like him around. I don't know. because I don't think he was around a whole lot.
Well, you know,
In the
undercoverly, nobody knew that they had gotten divorced or they were separated.
Right. Okay.
Remember, because Sissy had cheated.
Right. But then he came back and started doing it, you know, taking over a little bit.
Yeah, but they still wasn't together.
Right, but he was being the manager.
Yeah,
he he and Sissy. But he was taking over Whitney's affairs, and somehow Robin started running the show. So the father
nobody liked that.
The father had to bounce. So that was the first time she ran somebody off, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I would love to hear her in this documentary. Anyway, but she's like, I ain't telling all my secrets about my baby. But
she ain't say much about, and they've tried to interview her too, and she still haven't said that she has gone on with her life and got married.
She got married to a woman?
Yeah, she's married to a woman.
Robin was tough. Well, she was showing her muscles and biceps and flexing. Anyway, her father comes back. Whitney's father comes back toward the end of her career, probably. I'm going to say the end of her singing career. Back when she still had a little bit left in her. And he began stealing from her, he and the accountant. And Whitney found out and got rid of him, fired him or whatever. And then this Bama files a lawsuit. Not only did he file a lawsuit, but I believe Whitney signed a $100 million contract.
And he wanted that $100 million.
And for his commission, he sued for $100 million.
Yes! Yes!
That does not make an ounce of sense. That means your commission is 100%.
Thank you.
Which means the person that you're working for
gets nothing.
Gets nothing. So people really have a misconception sometimes when they're helping out, whether they hook you up with somebody or they broker the deal or serve as a liaison. A lot of people have a very big misconception.
He was so mean and nasty with it too.
Have a misconception of their importance. A lot of times you can have, say, a realtor. Mm-hmm. They broker deals. Now, most realtors can do what the average realtor does. But in no way can you say you were essential if you're doing what the average broker does. And look at Whitney. Yes or no? Do you want this? Yes, $100 million is a lot of money. Yeah, I'm signing the dotted line. And then you're going to come back and say you want 100%? 50% is crazy. 20% is crazy. And probably, in my opinion, the bigger the contract, I'm not in Hollywood, but the bigger the contract, I think the less the percentage you should get. That's not how it works, but it makes sense to me. But anyway, he was crazy. And Whitney didn't come to him when he was alive. He started dying and getting sick or whatever. And once he passed away, she came and said her goodbyes and I guess took care of his burial and everything. Mm-hmm. But she was like, forget that. But at that time, she was also getting high again.
Yeah.
So she probably didn't want to deal with him. But them trying to get Whitney in rehab, everybody in her crew saying yes, for fear that if they say no, they'd be fired and they lose their
money and their jobs.
Their money, and they don't have a way to feed their families.
Well, I think that was so honest of people to tell their truth about when they said, well, why nobody told her no? You know, why nobody said anything to her? Why nobody came to her aid? Why everybody allowed this to happen around her? And the truth was what they said, because we're fearful that we would lose our job. We wouldn't be, like you just said, that we wouldn't be able to feed our families. So, of course, we were going to go with her. But she was steadily deteriorating. The favorite part, and I know this is not good, but my favorite part when I looked at that movie is when she had that interview with Diane Sawyer. If you look at that, Whitney is hilarious in that whole thing. I mean, the way, to me, it looked like Diane was a little scared to ask certain questions because how Whitney was.
She should have been scared.
She was like, how? Because you know how she was answering the questions.
She wasn't how. She didn't look at me.
She was.
She looked threatening.
And I don't mean to put this in there. She did look threatening, but she was taking something before she got on stage. Because if you, and I'm only referencing this, on the biopic of Bobby, he even said you shouldn't have had that interview. You know, you was already high. She was high during that interview.
I know one thing.
You know, crack is whack.
Yeah, we know that from her. That's her favorite quote from that interview. But one time when Diane Sawyer said something, and Whitney answered her and gave her this look.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it was cold.
Like what he was saying. Don't ask another question on that topic, or else.
Right, or I heard you.
Oh my goodness, she looked like she was basically saying, "Say one more word,
Mm-hmm.
let me reach across this." Oh my goodness.
Especially when she was talking about the pictures of the Michael Jackson's anniversary.
Right.
When she did the how thin she looked, and she was like, "You look skeleton thin." She's like, "I've always been thin."
That was sad.
Yeah.
That I remember watching that special. All of us sad, seeing her thighs like the size of the average person's calves. Oh, that was sad seeing her like that.
It looked terrible, but every time I reflect, I mean, Whitney was so. I'm with you on that. When she looked at her, she looked so cold. I don't even know if I could have continued that interview.
If you were Diane Sawyer?
If I was Diane Sawyer, I probably
She had a bodyguard. She had a bodyguard there. Protected from Whitney. She didn't have one to protect her from Bobby. So Bobby took care of the bodyguard. That leave Diane and Whitney one-on-one. But
we already know who's going to win that.
Oh, Whitney was going to hurt somebody.
Hands down.
And the documentary also didn't cover the Ben Bobby Brown TV show. Also didn't cover Wait Until We Sell.
The movie.
Right, but it did cover the bodyguard. The part about Bobby Christina, how she was just out there by herself. She really, probably from the age of 9 or 10, she was just around grown folks.
All the time.
And when the grown folks were doing their thing, she was just left there either to see it, hear it, or just free to do whatever she wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So at the age of 16, they had her, or they had photos of her, or video. They had video of her snorting cocaine.
But because you remember, they would lock themselves in a house for days.
Right, with the lights out.
With the lights out and everything.
And Bobby Christina's in there.
And they're with it, in the mist.
And she knows what they're doing. Eventually, she's going to walk in that room and see what they're doing. And they talking about Bobby with the demonic pictures. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was too much.
It was a lot. But you know what, as I was thinking about the lady who was the assistant, who was talking about Bobby Christina, and I think one of the aunts, the aunt that was at the beginning, can't remember what her name was. Remember she said she kept Bobby Christina until she was 8 years old.
Right.
So I think during that time when Bobby, Christina, and Whitney was together after the divorce happened,
right,
I think Whitney looked at Bobby Christina more of her best friend than as being her mother.
I don't think it was that.
It was like it was almost like, I don't know, the relationship was not a mom and daughter. I mean, in the sense of she knew she was her mother and she knew that she was her daughter. But what I'm talking about, I think she really depended so much on Bobby Christina after that happened.
I think, of course, she didn't look like her, like as a daughter, like you said. But I don't think it was a best friend. I think Bobby Christina was almost like a Barbie doll. Because I didn't know that Bobby Christina hated Whitney. When they said that part, that Bobby was talking about how she wished she would die or her mother would be dead and all this kind of stuff, and she was serious, oh, that messed me up. Because of course, we would have no way of knowing that. Because that never came out. But Bobby Christina hated Whitney Houston. Because Whitney wasn't present. No. Even though she was physically there a lot.
She wasn't there.
Mentally, she was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And Bobby Christina resembled that.
And I think, too, Bobby Christina had to take care of her mother a lot during that time. Emotionally.
Yeah, but to what extent? I think she just checked to make sure she was alive. Because she was ripping and running with her friends after a while and doing coke at 16. So she's doing cocaine at 16. What is What is her mother doing? They both probably high, just in 2 different rooms. They're not doing it together. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness! So I feel for Bobby Christina, and then for Bobby Brown to say he didn't talk to Bobby Christina for a year or so because she was upset with him, and he blamed it on Whitney, thinking Whitney said some things or whatever. That means Bobby Christina was mad at everybody. She clearly didn't have
nobody,
not even one parent. Mm-mm. Oh, that messed me up. That messed me up. So you can say Whitney was abused by the child molester, but Bobby Christina was abused by her parents.
Yeah, because they were not present.
Right, and that hurt.
And they both was all dealing with some demons that they had going on.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
Bobby
had all those people who died in his life too.
Yeah, but out of all those sober people, they let Whitney get like that. Mm. And when Whitney,
well, they said the last time she did go to rehab, remember, towards the end she could not continue because she didn't have enough money to finish the treatment.
No, we get to that. We get to that. Let's save that for last, because that's like the deepest part. That's my mouth fell open again, because I read a lot, and a lot of this stuff I didn't know. But when Whitney was out and about in that mink coat, I remember that picture hitting the Inquirer or whatever. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She looked so bad, but happy. Mm-hmm. That's when you like happy. She like the average crackhead you see on the street. And you wouldn't even recognize her. I don't know what she had in the head, had that little mink on, and she just looked like she was hanging with, what's my girl's name? Keisha Cole's mother. She like she was hanging with the man down lady. What's her name? I
can't think of her name right now. To save my life, I can't think of her name.
Right, Keisha Cole's mother. Oh, the cut up, but that's how Whitney looked. Oh, she looked so bad. And when she was singing, because Clive Davis really looked out for her. He cared about her so much, and I don't even think this was about him. I think this was 100% about her. He tried to get her cleaned up enough to put out that last album. And I don't know how well it sold, but I think that was his paying respect to her, saying, you're doing bad, things are, going too well in your life. Here, just we gonna find a way to put a CD out, even though you can't sing anymore, so you can get some money in your pocket. Because when she hit that stage and she was singing, and they were talking about fans walking out or what have you.
Oh yeah.
That performance they showed, oh my goodness.
Horrible.
Whitney was, oh man, her voice, it wasn't even you couldn't even hear a glimpse of the real Whitney. It was probably like 3% of herself. Mm-hmm. That was horrible. But I do have that last album. I did buy it. I think that was around 2010, 2011.
Yeah, she had a lot of writers on that.
Right, but that brings us to, and that's a good segue, she had a lot of writers. That brings us to her going broke. I did not know that. I didn't see that coming. I thought Whitney had money, like her and Michael Jackson. I had no idea she was broke.
But then too, in that she had to figure out how to get back on top.
But she wasn't going to get back on top.
No.
That wasn't going to happen.
But she was trying to figure out some kind of way. And I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, when you mentioned that they mentioned The Bodyguard on it. But the other movie they did mention was the last movie she did.
Right, Sparkle, right. And Sparkle was a way for her to make some money.
Right.
Period.
But they said how much better she seemed to be when she was doing Sparkle. It seemed like this is what the lady said, who was the producer of the film.
Break it down.
So she said that film seemed like she was trying to make a change and turn the corner.
Yes, but keep this in mind. in her contract, there were stipulations.
Yes, there were.
You will not get paid, and you will be fired if you fail these weekly drug tests.
That's correct. You're right.
And if you need money to get high, you're going to stay sober until you get your money. And she got her money, and what did she do? She went right back to getting high again. And that was rough. That was rough because they thought she turned the corner. She started singing a little better.
I said the word was they thought she turned the corner.
Right. She said, "Yeah, I'm turning this corner."
She sounded a little better. She sung a little. She sung okay in the movie.
She said, "I'm gonna turn this corner, and I'm gonna keep driving, and I'm gonna turn that next corner down there. Call my homeboy, and get that special delivery." But her being out of money, that blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
But when you said she had a lot of writers, she wasn't like a Beyonce or someone that writes a lot of her own music. So when it came down to it, she had a whole bunch of money from touring and getting a lot of money from, I guess, the record label. But when it came time to collect royalties, the royalty payments go to mostly to the production team. Mm-hmm. Whoever writes the music, whoever creates the music. So she's not really getting paid any money. So I now see how she went broke, but I didn't think she was at that point. Because Whitney had it all. Yeah, that was rough.
Man, that was a rough movie. It's a rough documentary. It had me sad for a minute too.
And very honest.
Yeah.
Very honest documentary. Mm-hmm. So we got to do something to lighten it up. Anything else you want to cover on the Whitney documentary? If you all haven't seen it, you need to check it out. It's really detailed, and it's coming from the people that are close to it, and they're actually telling on themselves a lot, which is the good part. Because if you're going to tell them yourself, that means you're just coming clean with all your dirt. You just, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the ending was really sad. I just wanted to add it at the end when the assistant left to go get her, that she wanted 2 yogurts, or ice cream. Cupcakes, that's it. She wanted cupcakes, and she really wanted them.
Yeah, but did she really want them?
She didn't really want them. She just wanted to get her out that room.
She wanted her to leave.
She didn't want her in the room, so that's the reason why she did. And once you heard the lady telling the story, a light bulb went off in your head, like, wow, she just didn't want her to be present.
Right.
When she made the decision, because I'm thinking that she's already had made that decision. Already. She just needed, because even the guy who was even the bodyguard who was guarding her room, the gentleman, mm-hmm. He even felt something that day when him and her talked.
Right. But they always want to get high. If you want drugs, you want to get high. If you're an alcoholic, you want to get high. Drug addict, you want to get high.
And I'm really sorry she never was able to get clean. I think, to be honest, and to close this out, I think the demons was so much that she could not take it. She really didn't get a chance to talk to people about what she was going through. She just talked in segments, like she told the assistant a small part of it. I think she never got a chance to tell her the truth and ever get help for it, because I think she figured being a superstar would heal that, and the drugs would heal that.
Right. But you also don't want to be preached to, and she's heard it all before. Someone hears that she's on something, says, "Oh, you gotta get yourself together. You gotta do this. You gotta stop that. You wanna go to rehab. You need to do drugs." Whitney tired of hearing that. Like any other star, you want to hear that? You're like, if you don't shut up, you know who I am. I can buy you.
Like the look she gave to Diane.
Yeah, I don't want to hear all that. So, and that's with all of us when we're doing something that we aren't supposed to be doing, and somebody pulls our card on it. We always say, yeah, I got it. Okay, yeah, you're right. You just don't want to hear it.
Sure.
And you want to keep doing what you doing what it is that you do. But yeah, that Whitney Houston had me in shock, and it's hard to shock me, but yeah, they got me with that one. But we can close this out
on that note.
The Whitney Houston documentary. If you all haven't seen it, treat yourself to it. But be prepared to hear some ill stuff, and we didn't cover everything. That's just a lot of the major stuff. But there's more to it.